Hello and welcome back to more Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, where last time we finished up the daily life section of Chapter 4, and today we will be beginning our investigation for the deadly life section into Sakura's death, even though I'm pretty sure I already know what happened based on some clues from the last episode. I think this might be a suicide case, which would suck, but that's where the clues are pointing toward right now, so we're just gonna look around, investigate the crime scenes, and see if we can get some more definitive clues as to what actually happened here.
Sakura's dead. She's really dead.
I heard Hina talking, but my eyes stared steadily forward. I can only look on at Sakura's dead body. We didn't make it in time. It's happened again. Muttering to herself, Kyoko began to gently inspect Sakura's body. I wondered, was she confirming that Sakura really was dead? Checking for a pulse or a reaction? I have to go get them. I have to go get the others. On shaky legs, Hina left the rec room, and why? Why did this have to happen? That's all I could say. I repeated it over and over again. I need to examine Sakura's body. I just stood there motionless behind her while she checked Sakura's corpse. Time passed. While I stood there unable to do a thing, time just passed. And after I don't know how long, I got everyone. Well, it's not a whole lot of people left to get. Ogre? Oh, so she's dead, huh? Sakura's been killed. I see. As soon as they arrived, Kyoko began.
Just a second.
You heard the announcement just now, right? So you know what this means. Sakura was murdered. Was she, though? Is that what you were going to say? Huh? No! Whoever killed her, it's not just someone in this room. It was one of you! Hiro, Bikuya, Toka, one of you killed Sakura! What? You're accusing us before we even begun the investigation. Well, okay, with... assuming Hina hasn't picked up on the clues that we have, which she obviously hasn't, it would literally have to have been one of you. So, yes, we think it was a suicide, but Hina has no way of suspecting that so far. So, with the information she has available to her, what she said makes perfect sense. I don't need to investigate anything, because you hated her. You hated the sight of her. One of you did it, I know it. Kyoko? Oh, here I was thinking it was a character that we actually enjoy spending time with.
Jeez, I didn't know your power level would increase by that much just by getting mad.
What are you doing here?
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to hand out my little murder flyer. That's right, it's the next Monokuma file. And don't get so mad, Miss Asahina, or you're gonna ruin that lewd little face of yours. Now then, with that,
Hold on. There's something I want to ask you.
Huh?
It was you, wasn't it? Sakura wanted to challenge the mastermind to a duel. Maybe you and her fought again. And then, yes, and then the little teddy bear killed Sakura. You really think anybody would have been able to actually overpower Sakura? And even if they were, you think they would have taken the time to set up her body in a seated, slumped-over position? Come the hell on.
Sorry, not quite. Actually, not even close. The whole thing is totally irrelevant now.
Sakura came to a most regrettable end without even getting the chance to finish things with me. Although I guess technically if you rewind the clock far enough, this whole thing was set in motion by Monokuma, right? Because he revealed her secret. So technically, okay.
Which thank God for that. It saved me the trouble of having to go through that little fight. Because even for someone like me, it would have been no mean feat to take down a behemoth like that. I gotta tell you, I was actually pretty worried. I mean, she'd violated a rule by attacking me in the first place. I wasn't able to punish her. So I don't know who it was, but whoever the blackened is this time, I owe you one.
Oh, come on, you obviously know who the blackened is, because you're the one who's gonna confirm whether we got it right on the class trial. You owe them one.
Oopsie. Before you get all pissy-potty at me, you better figure out who did it first. Because, I mean, your lives are all on the line, right?
Oh, I forgot to say, hi, my name is Monokuma, and I pop up when I'm least expected and also least wanted. What the hell? He owes them one? I hate him! I hate this whole thing! Well, I, for one, am glad it was Sakura, because I am a sack of shit. She was, working for the mastermind after all. How can you say that now? Sorry, I don't have the time for your squabbling. I ask again, does anybody, even a single person, actually like this character? I really don't think there is. Because he's just such an asshole. The next game has already begun. If you want to be angry at someone, be angry at whoever killed Sakura. Right now, our top priority needs to be uncovering Sakura's killer. If we can't do that, we're all dead. Then let's decide who will stand guard this time. I'll do it. Hina, I'm okay. Just let me handle it. Besides, I want to be here with Sakura. Okay, then Hina is guard number 1. But we need one more. Kyoko, that's you.
What?
Of course, the 2 people that I actually care about are going to be left behind at the scene of the crime, which means I have to spend time with everybody else. Kill me. Me? You're always a thorn in my side. This time— Oh! Kyoko is a thorn in your side! Really? Really, buddy? That's what you're going with? Okay, pal. An order. Who do you think you are? Fine, I'll stay behind. And it's settled. Let's begin, shall we? Hold on! Before that's something I want to say. Which is— Hiro, Bikuya, Toko, none of you are allowed to step foot in the crime scene. What? One of you killed Sakura. I won't let someone like that come anywhere near her. Don't be stupid. Our lives are in just as much danger as yours. We have every right to investigate. I don't care what you say. I'm not letting the one who killed Sakura get anywhere near her. Even if it means I have to use force, you're not getting in here. Well, it appears further discussion would be a waste of time. How about a compromise? I won't ask you to let all of us in. Just— Ah, yes, because that's so much better. Yes, because the other 2 were the people we really wanted to keep out of the crime scene. Nah, but I'm sure that the whole problem goes away by letting just the person who thinks this is all some silly little game into the crime scene, who thinks this is all one big hilarious joke. Ah, yes, what a wonderful alternative you come up with there, Bikuya. Moron. What? You don't really care, do you? You're both useless anyway.
Nope, don't really care. I'd rather spend my time coming up with another splendid fantasy involving Master anyway.
And you, Hiro, do you really object? If you're gonna go that far, what can I do? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, so why should I care? Then it's decided.
Nothing's decided.
I know how you feel, Hina, but you should agree to his request.
What? No, you shouldn't.
We have to find out, because if they don't care, then granting him permission to investigate would basically be the same as granting everybody else the permission to investigate. But he's the one we don't want in the crime scene. He sucks. For those of us still alive and to honor Sakura's memory. Fine, I guess that's okay. But no matter what, Bikuya, you absolutely aren't allowed to touch her. Naturally. Who would want to touch her? Oh, that's enough fighting. We need to focus on the investigation from here on out. Everyone, keep this in mind. If we can't uncover Sakura's killer, all of us face execution. Finding out who killed Sakura, it's not a matter of hoping we can do it. If we want to survive, we have to do it. It's kind of hopeless hope. We have no choice but to just do it. Okay. Investigate. Here we go. Better check the Monokuma file for anything else. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. I was really convinced that the crime would take place on the 4th floor because that's the new floor we just unlocked. However, it seems that— wait, hold on, hold on a minute, wait, why did I go here? Oh, we can't access it yet. Oh, crap. It seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. Hold it a minute, wait, that changes everything, hold on. The victim was Sakura Ogami. Time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. There's evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. It seems that at some point the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. Okay. That doesn't completely invalidate my theory. I still stand by that the conclusion of this will be that she poisoned herself with the stuff she found in the chem lab. However, the evidence what this Monokuma file tells us is that she was attacked beforehand. So, let's merge my 2 theories into one. Here, what do you think the odds are? Because of the way this case has been built up, it's probably going to be Yasuhiro. Yasuhiro, or whoever the killer is, tries to attack her because they're like, I guess Bikuya would have a motive to do so, right? As well. I mean, they all would, but it's either going to be Yasuhiro or Bikuya, I'm pretty sure. I'm still sticking to my guns with Yasuhiro. Attacked her to be like, hey, you betrayed us, out with ye, and then failed, or maybe thought she died, and then Sakura was like, I can't take this anymore, and then she killed herself. That's what I'm going to assume took place. That would explain, because there's too many clues to the point of this being a suicide for that to just have no play in this whatsoever. So I think that's gonna be how this all ties together. Okay. I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why's that? The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through, and the door had been jammed shut with the chair from inside the rec room. Which means the killer had to escape somehow after. Oh right, that's the other thing I didn't even bother to mention, is that they couldn't have, like, literally couldn't have left the goddamn room because the person inside would have had to bar the damn door. So if the door was blocked from the inside and there was no way in or out, so we locked the window, it's like a... Out of sheer curiosity. 999 release date. That is exactly what this is. Okay. Because they're both made by... Both games were made by Spike Chunsoft. So, I think it's absolutely guaranteed that that is a reference to 999. Because 999, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors came out December 10th, 2009. And Danganronpa came out November 25th, 2010. So, that is absolutely a very deliberate reference to that. Okay. Alright, points for that one, game. This is a classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing a lot in mystery movies or books or whatever, but could it really happen in real life? And right before... You know, this isn't really a strict criticism. It's just kind of a pet peeve. It just kind of makes me roll my eyes whenever there's any kind of medium, be it a game or a movie or a book or whatever, and it's like, oh man, this is the kind of stuff that happens in movies, right? But this is real life. None of this happens in real life. And it's like, you just roll your eyes because it's the most blatant attempt at self-awareness. But, because like Phineas and Ferb did a joke like that where Doofenshmirtz is like, this isn't a sitcom Perry the Platypus, this is real life. And he looks into the camera, as does Perry, and like it's very deliberately breaking the fourth wall. Like, because even they don't believe it. They're like, this is real life. Yeah, like it's clear that they're trying to be fourth wall breaking, self-aware about it. But a lot of times it's just like, what? This stuff happens in movies. This doesn't happen in the real world. It's like, game, what are you doing? What? Again, it's not a strict flaw. Like, I'm not gonna knock any points off. It's just like, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine. I don't know. Hey. Are you curious to hear more about it? No, I am not. I don't. I know what a locked room murder is. I don't. Okay. What did you say? Locking the room. First time when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. Locked room already exists before the crime is committed. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we know what a locked room mystery is. Yeah. We know. It's, if you don't know what a locked room mystery is, there's like, okay, there's no, there's more than 4. There's way more than 4 possibilities there. But yeah, until I figure out the truth behind Sakura's death to stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to, concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. Okay. Well, like I said, I think we already know, now that we know, like, that's, I don't know why that wasn't one of the things that I mentioned, is the fact that obviously she would have had to be the one, because no one else could have gotten into this room, so there's that, but, okay, well, there's a lot to investigate here, there's a lot of, let's just start by checking the body. Start with the obvious stuff. Sakura drew her last breath sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of a blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that that's what killed her, but according to the Monokuma file, she'd also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said that she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Ooh, me, pick me. I know. Okay. I also... Not a chance. Peculiar. However, your eyes have landed on a most interesting location. Interesting. Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't think I call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. I'm also wondering about what this is on the ground. This looks like some kind of wrapper. That's... Do you recognize it, Hina? Well, yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found a genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So as we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little. So, here. I get that you're mad right now. Please take this candy wrapper. Okay. Strange. I guess you could be saying that she gave just, like, the candy itself to her, but even that, it's like, I don't know. I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. As soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. You really like them that much? But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself, so I gave it to her. But now they've lost all their flavor. Hina. Polka dot candy wrapper has been added to the truthful section of your handbook. Okay. Good to know. There's also this shattered thing behind the chair. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and there are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? A bottle, huh? I wonder what that could mean. So this must have originally been a bottle. Gee, I wonder what were we talking about in the chem lab yesterday? Or not yesterday, 2 days ago. Huh? There's something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. Okay, that's interesting. What else do we have? We have the magazine rack over here with there's some blood by it. The same shelf full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here. Okay, fine. I have to check the blood pile itself. There's clearly blood by the magazine stack. There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Probably because she was attacked there and then came over here to sit down, and then that's where she killed herself. That's what I'm going with. Okay. Then there's also whatever this is supposed to be. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. One of which, okay, so they all have, and inside each bottle is some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is how'd they get those figures inside the bottle?
So...
It's no different from your standard chip in a bottle, huh? You know where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You've never seen that? Oh yeah, maybe I have. So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. Monokuma bottle. I said bottle, sorry. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things little by little. Okay, so, Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found in the ground. Yeah, I get it. It's the same bottle. Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, cool. I mean, Sakura must have been hit in the head with the Monokuma bottle, right? Yeah, okay, I got that. Thanks. I got that. So it's not. So okay. My first thought was that it was the bottle that had the whatever she used to poison herself with. But I guess that's where it came from. The shards of glass in the Monokuma figure. So that's I think it's the same Monokuma bottle as the weapon. And I also see that the locker's wide open over here. I didn't even know there was a locker in this room. The locker's open and there's on the inside. It's a handprint? What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and left a handprint on all the dust.
It's true.
It looks quite fresh, too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locker room was open, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Why not? Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, and the locker was already open at that point.
Indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah, so then, what does this handprint mean? Locker handprint adds the 2 blood section to your handbook. Okay. I think we have a pretty good read on what precisely happened here. Anyway. What else do we have to look at? There's this. Is some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance of the room? Oh, well, here it is. It looks like a protein drink and it's empty. Sakura must have drank it, and everyone knows how much she loves her protein. I don't think that's what was inside. And she mentioned more than once that protein was good for all sorts of ailments. I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. But still, this protein can... It's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab has all kinds of health stuff. So you must have gotten this from the Chem Lab. So that's strange. What is? You see what's scattered on around the can? Shards of light blue glass. They must be parts of the window I broke to get inside.
Correct. But
they aren't just scattered around the can, they're also underneath it. Why does that matter? I can't say for sure, but you're probably going to want to take note of it. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. An important clue, I'm not sure how. I'm not sure I see how. An empty. Okay, obviously it has to be the placement of those 2 items. But I'm pretty sure that this isn't actually gonna have any. What's inside this is not what you think is inside it. I can say that with almost 100% confidence. Let's see, is there anything else worth examining, like maybe the window itself? The door's the only way in or out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used in the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Okay, how about the fact that this chair was pulled away from the center table? I would imagine, wait, no, this chair is bigger. This chair's a lot thinner. Is this the chair that's supposed to go over here? The chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used in the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. And there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from the inside, not the outside. The rec room door has been added to the true blood section of your handbook. Okay, is there anything else, or can I leave now? I need to examine the crimes as much as possible. Okay, so I guess we're not, I guess we're not done yet. Okay, what's left to examine? So this is interesting. I talked to Hina and she said, Sakura asked all 3 of them to meet with her, you know where, right here in the rec room. After I went to their office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own, but when I saw her again after that, she told me, she said she left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her here in the rec room by noon. by noon. The medical file says she died right around then. I'm telling you the truth, I heard it right from Sakura herself, and I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her by force even, this never would have happened. Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. Okay, so is that what we're missing? But the fact that she had to ask those three to meet with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place that she ended up dying, might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them direct. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room, so you found out? Interesting. Then it's true. I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. But Kiryu says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. What a charming fellow. Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so for the most part. Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave. Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided. She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right, I do have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Okay, so if they... Now my theory has changed to if they were both in here, then both Genocide Jill or Toko and Yasuhiro attacked her. And then they probably attacked with one of the figurines, like we said. She explains the blood pile over here. Then she came over here, sit down to kind of rest. Decided she wanted to commit suicide. She pinned the chair up against the door after they left. And then things proceeded as they unfortunately did. Okay, so let's head out. Leave the area? Yes. Let's indeed leave the area. Those other 2 people probably went back to the rooms. Okay, good. It doesn't make us warp all the way back down here. We can go here. Okay, so map time. Bikuya. Sorry, no, we don't need to find Bikuya. Toko is just past here. So Toko's right. This is Toko's room. And the other one is Yasuhiro, whose room's all the way down there. So I guess we'll start with Toko. And then I press the doorbell. And after a few seconds... Oh, great, this again. Who's there? Ah, the most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slid out into the hall.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Bikuya already told me she asked to meet with him. She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said 2, didn't I? I guess that was totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So, can you tell me about it? I admit I did get the note, but I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated into her room. Okay. That's 1 down. Now only 1 more to go. Yasuhiro right here. There we go. I pressed the doorbell. Hey, we had one conversation about about your insane fortune-telling skills, so can we chat about Sakura now? What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah, actually, I just wanted to check something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you. How'd you know about that? Oh, did you maybe gaze into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Bikuya and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that? Oh, when she asked me to be there, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note. She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like, in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura. No way, I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious. Last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office. I haven't seen her since then. Lies, lies, lies. Well, while I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Oh, do I still have it? Let's see, Hero was feeling around in his pockets. Ah, sorry, looks like I don't have it anymore. Ah, how convenient. With a big, goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he does, saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hero's pocket. Huh? Ah! Ah! Quick as the wind, Hero snatched it back up again, and shoved it back into his pocket. She wrote it on a candy wrapper. Sorry, it's a bit of trash we have to throw out. Trash. Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked me to meet with me, but I never went. So, if you excuse me, could you be any more suspicious? Before waiting for a reply, Hero quickly slipped back into his room. Hero said that it was just trash, but there's no way that that's all there was to it. Polygon trash has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hero. What next? I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe we should find out more about the protein camera found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. Okay, so to the chem lab we shall go in that case. All the way up to the 4th floor, where, okay, I guess can I warp any closer? I can't. I can warp right outside the chem lab, actually. That's extremely convenient. Alright, let's go. So I guess we gotta find out more about the protein shake she was, or oh, lovely. You're everywhere. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Who are you gonna hate? Mikuya Togami. Makoto, did you Makoto, did you have your eye on the chem lab too? Just make sure you don't get in my— oh, I'm gonna get in your way, huh? I think what you meant to say was, yes, sir, I understand. I don't obey you! You're not— I hate this man so much. Okay, so what— I guess we'll just start from the left and work our way to the right with this stuff. This isn't my first time seeing the show, but I just can't get over how big it is. I should probably take a closer look at it. Oh, it looks like this 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. The more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? I have to be careful not to step in it. Yeah, what in the world is all this? Okay, well, obviously this is the most pressing concern. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the powder came from? It looks like a bottle had a label on it, Chem C4, with a very, very obvious skull and bone symbol to make sure you know to never touch it. Also, I didn't want to press L1, but I did. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning checking things out, and at that point, the room wasn't like this. Then this powder must have been spilled. That's right, it could only have been around the time of the incident. If that really is when it happened, then it must be related to the case somehow. Source of the powder has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. And there's also footprints over here. These are footprints, and they're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? We may need to sketch out the floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen that he just had ready to go. Well, let's go. Chop chop. Okay. So I got to work, and before long I drawn up a sketch of the room. So how's this? Not bad for you, I mean. You didn't even offer! You are in no place to— So when you look at it like this, interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to, and then left. That's what the footprints tell me. These footprints must be— Makoto, are they yours? How have you— what the— Okay, let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself. I couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Bakuya said. I see. Your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit these are not your footprints, unfortunately. But with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. And these prints are a really valuable clue. Okay, well, at least they didn't do the Apollo Justice garbage and have a shoe print database ready to go. Okay, well, I guess we can check the powder itself. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor, but I don't leave a footprint. I should probably take a good hard look at the powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor in front of the shelf. It's also the remains of a broken bottle. Looks like the bottle was labeled Chem C4. Also, it looks like someone left some footprints in the powder. Also, wasn't the— hold on, can I check the truth bullets? What was the cap of the thing we found? Okay, so I thought they'd be the same, but no, this was Chem A2. Okay. Well, either way, it's that would be in the left shelf, and that's where this footprints led. So, you know, that's all I can tell for now. Okay, so I guess now we can check the actual— we'll start with— so this shelf would be where we found the thing that was labeled in the crime scene, and this shelf would be where we found the thing that's right down there. So I guess we'll check them all. Let's see what's on this shelf. There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter A and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section A. Huh? But wait! There's one bottle here that's labeled Chem C9. Could someone have put it here on accident? No, it was definitely not an accident. On this shelf is one look I can tell it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. It look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers of the shelf labeled C and a number except for one. I guess I consider this part of the shelving unit section C. Oh, okay, no, okay, well. So, what this tells us is that whoever put the bottle back has no idea how the system works. Which, I don't know how. Like, anybody any intelligent human being that walks into this room, no, sorry, anybody with any level of common sense who walks into this room looks, okay, we got A, we got B, we got C. I'm holding a bottle that has the letter C on it, so where does it go? I know, the A section! So, clearly they have not been to this room before, or if they have, they don't care enough to actually check. Based on this information, what we can assume is, okay, because, alright, okay, I'm starting to get a grip on how this works. So Sakura calls everybody into the room, and, either Toko or Hiro attacks her. Excuse me, and then they yeet the hell out. And then Sakura decides to commit suicide with the bottle she had from this, that she brought with her from the chem lab. Now the only flaw with that reasoning, with the evidence we found so far, is the fact that the bottle of poison, the bottle that is allegedly a protein drink is on top of the shattered glass, which shouldn't be possible because we broke the glass after this happened, which means it should be, none of the glass should have made its way under the bottle. And I didn't have an explanation for that at the time, but now that we're in this room, I might have one. Because, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Now, I don't know why this would happen. Like, the motivation behind this makes no sense. Because even if Hiro and Toko may have been the ones to attack her, but they would not have been the ones to kill her. So they wouldn't have been the one, neither one of them would have become to the Blackened, which means they would have had no fear of being executed. Unless, of course, people thought they were the culprit and they deemed them the culprit instead of it being a suicide. Now, the problem there is that the only explanation I can think of that would explain why that bottle was on the ground on top of the glass would be if somebody saw, because we wouldn't, when we walked into the room, we probably didn't see the bottle. We were focused solely on Sakura's body, so we may not have seen the bottle on the ground. But someone else may have seen the bottle on the ground and thought, oh, this was a suicide. And then, for some reason, picked up the bottle, brought it back here, was stupid enough to put it in the A section, not the C section, and then replaced it with a protein drink to make it seem like it was actually a murder? Which doesn't make any sense at all, because if that doesn't make, okay, because the result of that would be that the trial would be you would arrive at the incorrect conclusion, and then you'd all be killed, because so it would have to be someone who wants everybody to die, which could be Bakuya, but there's no way he would have made a mistake like that, so it has to be someone who would, no. Wait a minute. Someone who needs the result of this trial to be that she was killed. She doesn't want to accept someone who doesn't want to accept the fact that her best friend was killed. Someone who desperately needs for this to result in someone being, this being a murder, not a suicide. So she picks up the bottle, brings it back to the chem lab, which she would have been able to do because in the opening scene of this episode, yes, this is exactly what happened. In the opening scene of the episode, she was standing in the doorway, Kyoko and Makoto were focused solely on the body, and she was behind it. She wasn't looking at the body. So while we were all distracted by looking at the body, she was only focused on the poison bottle that she saw at her feet. She picked it up while we were all distracted, ran back to the chem lab, swapped it with the protein drink, and put it back on top of the glass to make it seem like either Toko, Bakuya, or Yasuhiro were the ones to take her friend's life, because she absolutely does not, under any circumstances, want to believe that her friend could kill herself. That is what happened! Oh my god! That is depressing as hell, but also super freaking smart. Oh my god. I mean, okay. I might have jumped to conclusions there a little bit. Like, it may not be her. It may be somebody else, but you gotta admit, because the only justifiable, the only thing that would make sense for somebody to switch the to switch the freaking things around, the only motive someone would have to do that would be if they desperately need. Because the thing is, it's not logical to do that, because what that results in is people thinking it was a murder, not a suicide, which means everyone's gonna die by execution. Which means the only motivation to do that would be an emotional motivation, to be like, no, I refuse to believe it, it has to be a murder. Let me plant evidence so that everyone realizes this is a murder. And, like, they either genuinely believe in the bottom of their heart, or need it to be true for the sake of their own sanity, because they don't want to believe their friend would have killed themselves. And the only person who was close enough with Sakura, who's still alive, who that motivation would have applied to, and who would have been either maybe not stupid enough, but at least, like, not clear-headed enough in the moment to switch and not put the thing back in the correct cabinet, would be Hina. Which is probably the single best plot twist this game has had so far. Camelot shelf has been added to the True Blood section of your handbook. I've already taken a good look at the Camelot. Maybe I should take a look at maybe I should take another look at the Rec Room. Okay. Now obviously we don't know everything yet. We still don't know why there's a handprint in the locker, or is that really actually, because we already know they met there. He was attacked with or she was attacked with the statue, which is why it broke. And then I guess if Toko was in genocide jail form, then she probably would have been crazy enough to be like, yeah, violence. Whereas Yasuhiro would have been like, I guess, you know what, I can believe that he came to the room and was like, oh crap, I'm about to die. Sakura's in this room and there's nobody else here. I'm about to get killed immediately. So he, like, in self-defense, he attacked. But then he ran away, not sure if he actually killed her or not. But then I can't explain Toko's actions quite yet. We still have a lot of unanswered questions, regarding the actual specifics of what Hiro and Toko did in that room. But as far as how Sakura actually died, I think we might have that explanation pretty much down pat. Okay, let's just warp outside the Rec Room, and, where's the door from where we spawned in? Where did this spawn me? Right here, okay, great, it's right here. Okay, back into the Rec Room we go.
Hey.
So Makoto, how's your investigation going? Very good, I think we know almost everything. I told Kyoko about what Toko and Hiro told me. I see, so along with Bikuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. It's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying. Well, I've made some progress on my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These three things have revealed some new clues. You do well to look them over one more time. Okay. You said the glass bottles, the body, and then the magazines. Okay, so we'll check the body first. According to Kyoko, there's still something to be discovered from Sakura's body.
Just a second.
Just staring off into space isn't gonna help you figure anything out. Well, yeah, I know, but don't you think you might need to actually examine the body? There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body, so he was completely unemotional. It's the kind of thing I've grown perversely used to, although there are still some times. I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it. It's totally normal. Then how can you... I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. Kyoko, that's not a normal thing you say. Sorry, never mind. You don't just drop that and then run away. More importantly, look here. Her shoes.
Correct.
You see that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands out. That powder is clue number 1. Okay.
Hey.
Next is the wound to her head. Look carefully.
It's true.
Actually, even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot, so let me just explain. It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow. Let's say receive 2 blows to the head. Okay. So the only way that makes... Because, I mean, okay. Alright. So one of them was hiding in the locker. And it would probably, of the two of them, would probably have been Toko. So Yasuhiro comes in here, thinks he's gonna get attacked. Attacks her instinctively. Gets scared and runs away and leaves the bottle at the scene of the crime. Right, because Hiro's not the most cool-headed person in the world, so it makes sense for him to have made a mistake like that. So then Toko, who was watching, or I guess... Toko would be scared enough, would be too scared to leave the locker. I don't know why she'd be in there first, but she's there. So, she's in there, she's scared, and she doesn't want to come out. And then I guess, somehow she changes to genocide Jill, I don't know how, but she does. And then she's like,
Oh, I must finish the job.
and then attacks her again with something. I don't know what. But then instead of making the same mistake that Hiro made, she actually cleaned up her mess and made sure there was no second murder weapon found at the scene of the crime. So then, I guess it could have been the same weapon twice, but I don't know. Either way, that's probably how that would be explained. Because she, in Genocide Jill mode, she would be more calculating and more calm and more prone to not, or less prone to make a mistake like that, compared to Hiro. 2 blows? Interesting, wouldn't you say? And there's one more interesting thing.
Correct.
Both of her hands were spotless. There's absolutely no trace of blood on either one. So that's what I've learned from examining her body in detail. Okay. We learned some things from that. I can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. Yeah, because Kyoko just knows everything, and she has lost her one reasonable explanation for knowing everything, so it's interesting to see how that turns out. And you said the magazines were something interesting here? Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. Clue. Huh? This magazine is upside down. Did someone put it back that way on accident? If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore that in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. I picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. Oh! Alright, there we go. There we go. That's the last piece of evidence we need. Okay, so, from the top, one last time. Sakura calls everyone to this room. Toko's here early for some reason, and then maybe she... I guess maybe she thinks she might be killed, so she hides in the locker to see for sure, like, what's gonna happen to Hiro. So Hiro comes into the room. Hiro thinks he's gonna get killed, and he goes into the defensive and instinctively attacks her in self-defense because he thinks he's gonna die. And then he gets panicked because he's not very cool-headed, and he leaves his mess at the scene of the crime. He leaves the broken bottle and the broken Monokuma figure on the ground and then runs away. Thinking he killed Sakura. Then Toko comes out of the locker. Maybe he tries to sneak away. He's like, no one saw me here. Then on her way out... Oh, wait, no. Sorry, back up one more time. Thinking he killed her, he tries to forge a dying... like a suicide note where he tries to make it seem like she wrote down the killer's name. Because, by the way, they unironically pulled this trick in the first case, but they're actually doing it in a clever way this time. So he tries to convince everyone that Toko did it by writing down her name in blood to make it seem like she was the one who wrote this and tried to frame her killer, which we know wouldn't be true because we know her hands were not covered in blood, so it had to have been Hiro to write the message because Toko wouldn't have done it to herself. Toko comes out, sees the message, and is like, hey, I gotta get rid of this. So she picks it up and tries to put it back in the magazine stand, but in a hurry she accidentally does it upside down, and then again, maybe seeing the blood, or maybe seeing the message transforms her into Genocide Jill, so she picks up either a new Monokuma figure, or the same one, to finish her off. She thinks she finished her off, cleans up the mess so that no one will be so that she wouldn't, actually, I guess it would have had to be something else, because she would have cleaned up the mess, so she would have deliberately left the first one behind and not cleaned up the second one. So she doesn't clean up her mess, sorry, she cleans up her mess, doesn't clean up Hiro's mess, to make sure that, she goes without a trace, she thinks she killed Sakura, leaves the room, and Sakura uses the poison she brought over from the chem lab to commit suicide. Then when we arrive, Hina sees the poison bottle, and it's like, it can't be true, it has to be murder, so she swaps them back while we aren't looking, and that is a full summary of everything that happened. There we go, okay. This case, if I'm correct in this theory, which I've been wrong before, this is a masterfully constructed mystery. This is phenomenal. On one of the pages near the center of the magazine, a word had been written in bloody, I just said bloody, bold bloody letters, and it said Toko. Could this be a dying message? Well, obviously not, because you know her hands weren't covered in blood.
Correct.
Then it would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this? It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. A dying message. Just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. I'm sure to put it back exactly as I found it, for the benefit of others who might come looking. Hey, is that... That says Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like it. Then she's the killer, right? Sure, Hina, give me more evidence to because that's the thing. You don't want to think she's the killer, right? You don't want her to be the killer because she's really nice. But they found a way to actually give her a plot twist without her being, like, a villainous entity. Which is really, really clever how they pulled this off. Then she's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet. Also, because she couldn't have written the message herself, her hands were not covered in blood. It's settled, she's the killer for sure. That's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. I can see why you would think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything... Oh, this seems too easy. But the first case where they wrote out Leon, that wasn't too easy. Okay, buddy. Okay. Magazine dying message at the duplicate section of your handbook. Okay. Well, is that everything that we needed to examine? Or... I guess we'll just try talking to Kyoko, see what she has to say.
Hey,
Sakura's body shelf magazines in the Oh, we haven't checked the... Okay, right, we haven't checked the bottles yet. Right. I think Kyoko said she found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles. Something new, something new. Well, okay. So, now I think we can confirm that it was 2 separate Monokuma bottles, one of which was sloppily cleaned up by Yasuhiro, and the other of which was actually competently cleaned up by Toko. Explain the 2 hits so that blows to that, because there's 2 missing here. Alright, that's the final thing we need, I think.
hey,
So, did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all the bottles. Pay careful attention, you're sure to find it. A correlation. Hey, can you just tell me what it is? I don't mind guiding you to a clue, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusion so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. By which you mean, I'm here to make sure that everybody who isn't following along knows where to look. But I can't directly tell you because then there's no gameplay left. When you could just not give me hints. And it's not just because you don't trust me, right? No answer? I do trust you to a degree, otherwise I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree? Hypocrisy, hypocrisy. Monokuma bottle? Yep, okay.
hey.
Actually, there's one other thing about the Monokuma bottles that's bothering me. I like to do an experiment to confirm it. You don't mind helping me, right? An experiment? Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces too. Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like this? I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. And that obnoxious McHugh's not here. So anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. With that, Kyoko left the room. I really don't know what this is about. But what choice do I have? Better just do it. I took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting... yes, the broom and dustpan is conveniently lying around in the rec room of all places. Of course. And just as I finished up... Sorry to keep you waiting. Is everything ready? Let's get to work. So what kind of experiment are we doing? I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights. Compare the weights of what? Pieces of glass you collected in one of them Monokuma bottles is still intact. Excuse me. Let me guess. Is it going to be a thing where they're not going to match because Toko didn't get all the correct pieces from her bottle, so they mix and matched, which is why the weights won't the weights won't match? I'm guessing that's where we're going here.
Listen.
First, to compare the weights of 2 of the normal Monokuma bottles. This, my friends, is a Professor Layton puzzle,
In other
which
words,
means each Monokuma bottle weighs about the same, which makes sense. The Monokuma figures inside are basically the same, with nothing else can really affect the weight.
So then-
Now here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on one side of the scale. Now, what might we expect to see? Well, a normal assumption would be either they're balanced out or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to get them all, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there.
So then-
Let's give it a try. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier? How is that possible? So, that means that Toko must have only cleaned up the figurine and not any of the glass because she figured it would blend right in. Just as I thought. What? The results of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles put it all together, and I believe you will arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So what do you think? It's all on you. Yep, I think we have enough to confirm my theories. Is it time already?
Whoops! You caught me sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring I couldn't stay awake. Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. You know where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school.
That was short. That was a unusually short investigation. Not that I'm complaining, but still. It's already time, but the mystery of the locker room is only still half solved. I don't know about that one. At this point, whatever happens will have to happen to the class trial. No, not whatever happens, I have to make something happen. You had to create a miracle. Alright. Here we go. Into the breach. Once more into the breach, dear friends. Yikes, the amount of people that are left. Okay, so I guess on the bright side, there's not gonna be only 4 people left. There's gonna be 5. Well, okay, excluding ourselves. There's gonna be 5 people left, and not just 4. Because if my theory is correct, which at this point it may as well stop being a theory and actually be what happened. Yasuhiro won't be executed, and neither will Toko, because neither of them were the ones who actually killed Sakura. So I think we might be able to get out of this class trial without anybody dying. Monokome's announcement, everyone began to meet up one after another, and then...
The ultimate martial artist! A locked room murder mystery!
What the...
Oh, I just recently discovered the power of emoticons. Like, no matter how awful something is, if you toss in a smiley face, it turns positive. For example, you're at a picnic and you find a dead body.
That's not how this works. It's just plain creepy.
And how about the reverse? No matter how great something is, if you put in a sad face, it looks super negative. For example, do you have 100 friends?
He's right, it does make it seem sad.
Now then, please get on the elevator. I'll see you all down there.
What the hell was that? I don't get it. I don't get you guys. How can you act so casual to murdering someone? Yeah, you're going a little too hard here, Hina. Like, Hina, you're a great friend. We bonded a lot, but you're going a little too hard on this one here, friends. I mean, I didn't murder anyone.
Yeah, I'm completely innocent. How dare you call me a murderer?
Whatever. Either way, the truth will be revealed soon enough. Because there can be no doubt one of us is the culprit. Lies. The killer, the one that murdered Sakura. She was stronger than anyone I know, and yet someone killed her. Nope. And that person is here. That person is one of us. Let's go. Let's go finish this fight. Come on, it's time to put an end to this. I made my way toward the elevator, but with each step I took, I felt like I was moving further and further away from my goal. I could feel a chilling fear running through me, trying to make me rot from the inside out. No matter how many times I go through this, it never gets any easier. We climbed into our steel prison in total silence. We watched the doors close, and it felt to begin its sinister descent. Remember when there were like 16 of us or whatever? No, sorry, 15. The elevator lowered, uttering its all too familiar clunking sounds. It fell lower and lower, and as suddenly as always, the ride was over. The doors opened once again.
Just the 6 of you, huh? Really? That's so few. You must be so lonely. You say that like it's not...
You say like it's not your fault, that's all that's left.
I wonder, will the class trial end with one less classmate again? Or will your school life come to an end completely? Now then, are we ready to begin? You know the drill. Find your assigned standing positions.
And so the curtain opened for the 4th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. Okay, I'm ready to go. This freaking trial has the potential to be the best one of the game so far, and I am ready for it. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for next time to catch you all tomorrow for some more Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Goodbye.
Danganronpa.